scale of contemporary animal farming, we distract ourselves. We need to stop focusing on minor fixes to the system and stop farming animals to slaughter them altogether. Sorry for the next image. Some of you might want to close your eyes. Even when they come from smaller farms, they are killed in the same slaughterhouses when they are really young, almost babies. Here's a graph. The red line is showing the age we slaughter them, and the gray line, their average life expectancy. So the moral principle is simple, according to me. We should not intentionally harm others, other individuals, other sentient animals when we can avoid it. So the principle is simple, but the consequences of this very simple principles are really huge. We could have a chance to tackle climate change, stop deforestation, start planting trees again, give their land back to wild animals. Stop farming animals would also mean to have plenty of nutritious food and healthy food for every human being and enough clean water for them. The UN predict that by 2050, 1 billion people will not have access to clean water if we don't cut the meat production by half. But it is expected to double by that time in 2050. So we are wondering how we will be able to feed 9 billion human beings in 1950, but we will be feeding almost 150 billion domesticated animals at that time. So when we are fighting for justice for other animals, we need to make clear in our minds and in our actions that we are not only fighting about other animals, but also about human animals, about social and environmental justice. And this brings us to one of the principles of critical animal studies. Animal activists and scholars need to avoid single-issue campaign in favor of alliance politics and solidarity with other struggles against oppression, hierarchy, and exploitation. We need to understand that we won't ameliorate the plight of other animals, whether domesticated or wild, without ameliorating the fate of other humans. But the opposite is also true. The radical and progressist thinkers need to realize that they won't succeed in bringing about human liberation without animal liberation. The material and the ideological conditions which enable the enslavement, the torture, and the massive non-criminal killing of animals are basically the same conditions which enable the oppression of marginalized human beings, whether they are women, people with disabilities, people considered less civilized or more primitive. When we animalize